Hey everybody, welcome back to the Collab Customs personalization video. If you've already used our personalization, this step for utilizing our fonts is going to be the same, so you can just skip this one. If you'd like a little refresher on the practice or how it works, feel free to stick around. If you're new here, basically what you're going to do is go here to our resources and personalize fonts. And basically, we're going to try and add a little bit more to this list for you guys. But basically, this is the font choices that we're allowing on our end. And essentially, what you're going to do is upload into your design, just specific pieces of personalization that you want in your design, right? So if you don't have any of these or any of the other ones that we're going to try and add for you, you can download them here. But let's go ahead and get started. Try and cover as many sort of variables that we can for you. So just bear with us. Basically, I'm just going to use Photoshop just to kind of plug and play a little bit. We already have some examples set up for you, and we'll show you how to look in the portal as well. One thing to mention, though, real quick, we just ask that you convey a message to your customers that whenever they're purchasing an item, that they add to cart each item that is personalized individually. If they're obviously the same color, right? They order two pink quartz, it's really not going to make that much of a difference. But if you have maybe a cream and a pink quartz, and different names on both of them, whenever they're going about it, as opposed to just oh, add to cart the pink quartz, and then oh, I'm just going to put the names on the one tumbler. It makes it easier for us. We don't have to ask you questions and make sure which one's which. It just kind of speeds the process up. So with that said, let's mess with one of these designs. Let's see, we'll do the mom one. This is pretty easy. So basically, let's say that you wanted to do a mom tumbler, right? And this is the design that you wanted to go with, and you wanted to personalize this, right? Utilizing our fonts, how this would work, you would essentially just say, okay, what am I going to collect from these for this design? Do I want to collect her name? Do I want to collect the year? Let's just say, for example, you want to do the established year, right? So what you would do is in your design, you would essentially just do this. And then this would be what you would upload into your collection, right? So for example, let's say that your customer bought this and the personalized year was 2023, right? So we're going to receive with this order, the established 2023, right? So everything that they put in here, we will get automatically. And we're going to go on the back end whenever we're print or laser engraving this design, essentially. We're going to fill in 2023 for you right here. Essentially, and it'll look like this, right? Utilizing this font that you've already chosen, right? So we know that this is delightful, and anything that we put in place here will be with delightful. So we're going to go ahead and give you just a quick little preview of what this would look like, so just to prevent any confusion. So like I said, this would be your collection that you would be uploading. So your design, let's say you wanted to use the 40-ounce tumblers, would look like this, right? So this would be the collection that you've uploaded, and this is what your product would look like inside the app. Okay. Okay, let's say you're not a fan of this font choice, right? We'll get rid of that. And let's just use the basic sort of Arial font, right? So this is the collection that you would upload here. So essentially, again, let's just use 2023 as the example. This is what you would upload as your collection piece, and we will show you that here. So, right, so upon a sale, we would receive this mock-up as your design, and we would know, hey, they're utilizing Arial font, and the personalization that they're getting from their customer is established 2023. And then you might ask, okay, so like, what does that look like in result wise? Assuming, let's just go back with the this one with the delightful font, right? And utilizing 2023, We just threw this in here together, so it would look like this. This would be the final product that your customer would be getting. Okay, so let's go back to this, and we're gonna let's just say hypothetically that your customer, they're like, oh man, I really like your design, but I want to add a little bit more to it, right? Maybe they want to add maybe like their children's names, or maybe like a location, or I'm not entirely sure, but anything other than anything more than this, that would sort of trigger you to have to upload the design to us, and utilize the other method. So essentially, anything that your customer is trying to provide to you that um, is not in this exact file, you will need to send that to us via the portal. Right. So let's say that they come to you and say, "Oh, we really like your design." Let's see. I think I threw some in here. Yeah. So they want, oh, the location of, whatever city and a name. Well, we don't know where this information is going to go. It will still come through on the personalization. Um, but obviously, hey, maybe you wanted the location up here. I don't know, name here, two names here. We don't know. So that will require you to send us the file on your end. Okay, let's say that just for example that you accounted for those fields being received by your customer, right? So you knew that, hey, I want them to upload the location, upload a name of their child and the year that they're established. So then therefore this would be the file that you would upload, right? And in which case we would receive the personalizations and add them in this font that you have chosen. Um, if let's say there's two names, right, that they provide, well, in that case, you'd still have to then fill the information out like you would for other platforms. This was really just sort of like just a way to help you guys speed the process up and not have to wait on you guys to send us a file. Um, it's a pretty easy use case. Just it's very relatively basic in terms of like the font options. Um, but so if let's say they say, hey, we have two kids, well, again, that's one of those things where it's like, do you want the two names here, side by side? You want them vertical? I don't know. Maybe you want them up here. It's your choice. It's your customer's choice, I guess. So in that case, anything that pretty much deviates from this exact image in terms of the information provided, you will need to then send us the file with the information already put into it. Um, let's do basically another example. We'll get rid of this just to kind of give you an idea. Actually, let's do this. Let's say this is your design, right? Um, a little bit bigger, and you're still collecting this one little piece of information for personalization. Again, let's just go with 2023, in which case this is what you'll be uploading into your collection, and we will place 2023 here. Obviously, we can see that year is aligned with this right side, and the established. Well, that's not going to change, but we'll obviously keep your formatting on that regard. So that's what your file would be printed as once our technician adds the personalization into it. So as I mentioned, the sort of use case for this is very, I don't want to say basic, but it's pretty quick and easy. I just pulled some files from the internet. Just if these look like anything like your designs, we do not share designs with anybody. Like I said, these were just kind of yanked off the internet real quick, just to kind of give you a quick little idea. So something like this, right? So like this is static. This is not going to change, right? The only thing that's going to change is here, the name. And well, obviously this is not like a font we offer, but obviously you would put name in whatever font choice that you would like. Um, you know, we're going to match this font size, but obviously, let's say, Alexa is relatively short, but if I don't know a name off the top of my head that's extremely long, but let's just say they put a last name that's just ridiculously long. Obviously, it's going to have to be formatted to fit, obviously, the width of the engraving area. So I mean, if it's sort of up to you, if you will. If you think that okay, cool, it's a short name, that's not a problem. But if you think that okay, maybe they're gonna have to like shorten it to fit the design to the actual engraving area, you're more than welcome to send it to us. Just uh, that's up to you. Same thing for this, right? For this little butterfly, you would just put name in whatever font that you want in this personalization. Um, Again, it's sort of up to you if you think that hey, like the name's not going to be shortened. We're going to try and match this font size the best we can. Obviously, it depends on a few things. All right, just another sort of quick example. Just simplistic. Here's the name that your customer wants to put in there, and obviously this is not going to change, right? So quick, easy, just to grab a quick personalization on the design itself. It doesn't require you to upload anything to us. You don't have to sit there and worry if you're going to get it to us in time. Pretty easy. But if you still have any questions, please let us know. Let's go on to adding a little bit more complex items. So let's look at some of these. Again, we kind of just yanked these off the internet. If you're wanting to do something like this, obviously we do not have a warehoused inventory of all the letters and the various styles. So this is something that if you wanted to do, you would just need to submit this to us with obviously the letter and the name already filled out, and we'll match it to your design. We'll go over that here shortly in the other video to sort of better explain that. But this is basically other ideas like we do not have these, so you would need to submit these to us. Sort of the same thing for this, right? So while we could easily do this part, the lettering on this is interchangeable, so we wouldn't be able to do that, as well as, groomsmen are, adding all these letters, or the split letters, I should say. Yeah, those would all require you to submit the designs, and we could not do those just with like a single name because we do not have these files. All right, so the next design is sort of where it sort of kind of gets a little blurry between which method you're going to use. So let's use this little design right here, right? And you're going to collect names. So in your uploaded design, this is what you would upload as your collection design, right? And this is Delightful font, so we know that hey, we're going to be uploading the personalized names in Delightful. This is sort of where it requires either you to convey this message to your customer that they need to be specific in their personalizations, right? So the first personalization name that we get, it might go at the top, it might go at the bottom. It's sort of, unless it's really specified, we don't know. So this is sort of where it's like, okay, cool, we'll put the names in there for you. But if the customer's saying, hey, I didn't write the names in a certain order, but I really wanted to, we would need to know that information. And this is also where it kind of gets tricky because let's say obviously 4 names is easy, but if they only submit 3, are you going to do it that way versus this way? This would sort of require you any sort of deviation from this design, being like, hey, oops, there's only 3 names. This would require you to send this to us as a design or as a PNG file, already filled out with the names, so that way we're not responsible for oh, they wanted the 3 names up, not down, stretched, because obviously if even if it is the 4 names, right? Let's say something that we see quite often is basically the name variation in length, and basically we usually get something like this, right, where you have an extremely long name and also an extremely short name, both in the design. And obviously, while we try to best fit this font size, this will now dictate the size of all four names because it's the largest. And just as you probably know, dealing with designs, you can't. This just looks kind of funny if you were to keep this large and then make this one small. That all really needs to be consistent. Um, but if that's the case and you feel like, hey, originally you had planned for us to do it, you can easily just send us the design. Just let us know, and we'll swap it out for you. Um, Continuing off the complex designs, right? So this is already sort of really borderline. All we ask is that you really try not to send us or try and ask us to do something like this, right? Um, you know, one or two, names is fine, but when you're getting into something like this, where, I mean, these are not our fonts anyway, but if they were, let's just use Delightful as a example. You'd have to really be specific in the personalization where it would say like under mom, first top or something like that name, right? And then under grandma, and that's assuming that, there are three names here and five names here. Um, so any sort of like that's very specific to a customer. So anything that's, maybe there's only four here, that's going to change up the design. And all we ask is that, we leave that to you. So please provide the names and everything already in the design, already altered. Um, so that way your customer can get what they ordered and be very happy. I'm trying to think, I don't think I actually showed you the example from earlier, actually. I'm sorry about that. Let me see. Let me pull that back up. So going here. So essentially going off the previous example that we had for the personalization being 2023, right? So now we have a different font. We're using just a basic Arial just to cover our tracks. Um, what you would receive in terms of a final product would be something like this, right? So it has the established, right? And then the year that you have requested in the personalization in the Arial font that you have used in your design. Again, so that pretty much covers the personalized fonts on our end. If we missed anything and you're still unclear about something, please shoot us an email. We would love to make sure we get that correct with you. Um, so just a quick little recap, right? So this would be your collection, right, that you're going to upload into your design. I'll pull this back over here. Um, this is what the collection file would look like. This is what your in-app mockup would look like. And obviously the mockup or the final product would look like this being sent to your customer, right? Um, again, sort of same thing, switching that back out and saying, hey, I want, that, um, that would be the collection right here that you would upload. We don't have the ability to kind of say like, oh, I want this font, this font, this font, this font as like options. It's really more of a static sort of like, hey, this is your choice. And hopefully soon we'll have that ability to kind of change that out for you. But right now it's sort of just a single design with a single specific font. And again, if any sort of deviation from this design by your customer would just require you to send us the file utilizing the next method that we're about to show you. So I hope you don't have too many questions. If you do, feel free to reach out. We'd love to explain it further. We want to make sure that you get it right. And we'll see you in the next video.